What's up, guys? I am Switters, and this is my guide on how to beat Firebase Z. You can do this solo, you can do it with up to 4 people. It will all basically be the same, but I always gear my guides towards solo players because I am a solo player. So please do hit that like and subscribe button. So let's not waste any time, and let's just jump in and see what our setup is going to be. I'm going to run with the M16 here with Ether Shroud to get started. Again, as a solo player, Ether Shroud is just great for getting you out of trouble. You will also need to have a class, though, that has Ring of Fire as its field upgrade. You'll be using that for the boss fight, but don't worry about that just yet. We're going to get to that, obviously, when we get to it. But there's all the attachments I use for my M16. You can copy this class if you like. And here is my Ring of Fire class. Again, the gun on this does not matter. Just make sure that you have Ring of Fire on. Now, I would definitely not recommend that you use a shotgun for this Easter egg, unless you are very confident in using your knife to kill mimics and using knives only. Other than that, don't use shotguns because they're too strong. Also, hopefully you've got your perks upgraded to tier 5. Elemental Pop will come in very handy there, and Deadshot Daiquiri. But if you don't have it to tier 5 just yet, it's fine. Don't worry about it. You're going to be all right. You'll still be able to do this Easter egg with this guide, no problem. I would recommend you go to round 4 or 5 or so to get some points saved up. You're going to have to buy a few doors, but then after that point, you're just going to head up these stairs as I do here, and we're going to go through the teleporter to head to the main area of the map. In order to turn on power, there are 3 different generators that you need to activate. As you can see here, we have the ether reactor that we're going to. That is number 1. So they're all labeled for you. You can see them very clearly on your map. Go ahead. Every time you see a perk machine, get your $100. Go down in front of it, get that loose change. So we're going to do this. We're going to activate these ether reactors, and then you just need to get some kills and protect the ether reactor. Very, very simple. And just so you know, you can do these ether reactors in any order that you like. I'm doing the one here at Mission Control first because that's just honestly how I do it. Also, when you go out this door here, come into this little hut and pick up this shovel because we're going to need it later. Don't worry about it for now. I'll tell you about it later. You can pick it up at any time, but while you're here doing this, you might as well pick it up. Next one we're going to go to is at the data center. So simple enough, we're going to open the door and drop down and activate this one. Again, you get a few kills, you charge it up, and then we're good to go, and then we're going to head out of here. And just like over at Mission Control, when we were leaving there was something we could pick up on the way. There's something we can pick up on the way here. So once we open these doors, to our left here in the weapons lab, you're going to see the blueprint for the Rai K Wonder Weapon. Just go ahead and pick that up for now. Again, you're not going to do anything with it at the moment. Just go ahead and pick it up, and then we're going to go to our 3rd and final ether reactor that we need to activate. And this one is at Military Command, aka the Colonel's office area. When you've completed this 3rd ether reactor, and again, you can do these in any order, doesn't matter, but when you've completed your 3rd one, you're going to get a quote from Ravenov down at spawn. So we need to go see him at this point. Basically, all he's telling you is that the Pack-a-Punch is now available since you've turned on power. Now, do not Pack-a-Punch this gun. Even if you have the points for it, do not Pack-a-Punch it. You do not really want a strong gun for now. I know that sounds antithetical to everything you've ever learned about zombies, but you don't want to be overpowered because you're going to have to kill mimics, and you don't want your gun to be too strong at this point. And in fact, I don't even Pack-a-Punch in this gameplay until I'm literally going into the boss fight. Not saying that you need to do that as well, but just keep in mind for now, you don't want to be super OP because, again, your gun will take out the mimics too fast, and we have to judge exactly how much damage we're doing to them. So what you're going to do down here, again, you're going to get this quote from Ravenov, and then basically you're just going to go upstairs and talk to Peck. But before you do that, there's a little side Easter egg that you can do. This is not part of the main quest, so you don't have to do it. But if you just go to the top of the stairs above Pack-a-Punch, aim down sight at Mr. Peaks, the blue bunny, up here, it's going to send you to this completely separate area, and you're going to get free Juggernog every single time. And you can also get the Wonder Weapon from doing this. So if that happens, congratulations, you've just saved yourself a bunch of time during the Easter egg. Now, it's not that hard to actually build it. I'll show you how in a minute here. But if you get it out of the box, I mean, like I said, big time save, so that's great. Now, all you need to do in this area here is find Mr. Peaks floating in the sky, just look for the purple light, and just shoot him. That's all you need to do. You do this a total of 3 times, and then you get your reward. Do keep in mind, though, that these spawns will be fairly spread out, so you're going to have to do a little bit of running while you're in here. You get a couple of mimics. They're really not a big deal. Just look for the light now for the chest, and open it up, and then you get your reward. Now that you're back into the main map, you're going to head up and talk to Peck, like I said. So we're going into mission control. That big ball that I was just looking at there that kind of looks like Epcot Center, but like a small version, is called the OPC. I'm telling you that because I'm going to be referring to it an awful lot. So all you need to do now is talk to Peck. He's going to give you a little bit quote. Once he's done, we've got to head back down to spawn, and we got to go talk to Ravenov again. He's going to talk for a little bit, but when he's done, he's going to give us his ID badge, and with that ID badge, we need to unlock 3 different cabinets. The first one is down here in spawn. It's going to be located just to the right here, as I'm showing you a quick revive. It's just to the right. This is the stairs you take to go up to the teleporter. You open that up, and then you get the first compound. Now take the teleporter back up to the main portion of the map, and underneath the OPC there is a cabinet right here. We're going to swipe it and get our second compound, and the third and final one is going to be in the Colonel's office. Now since we haven't gone in this direction before, we've only come back from the other way, I'm just going to show you the whole way just so you know exactly where I'm going here. So again, the third and final reactor that we did was down to my right. This is the Colonel's office inside here, and then again, we're going to get the third compound. Now, head over to where you take the teleporter to come up to the main portion of the map, and go open that gate there, go right through this middle center lane here, and this place here is called the Field Hospital, excuse me. Just go ahead and pop the 3 canisters in there. It's going to spin for a second, and you're going to get some hellhounds that spawn in, and a quote that really kind of won't make sense. They're talking about, hey, Butterfingers, like you dropped something or messed something up, but obviously something was cut, and they just never changed the line, so it's a little bit of a weird quote. Anyhow, when that's done spinning, go ahead and pick it up. And what we've concocted here is a truth serum that we need to gas Dr. Peck with. So again, I'm going to show you exactly where to go. We're going to attach this thing to an air conditioning unit that's above his office, which is right next to the OPC that we're looking at right there. So head up these stairs. You can just jump over these railings if you wanted to. And underneath right here, and just pop it right down there. And then we're going to go talk to Dr. Peck just below this area. So you can see now his office is starting to fill up with this purple gas, and he's just going to start yapping, man, okay? So he's going to go on for a while. Wait until you get the prompt to talk to Dr. Peck, and then Weaver's going to cut in and start talking to him, and then he's going to get a little bit more information out of Peck that we need. So we're going to head on over to the data center. But before we just go ahead and run over there, we're going to stop on our way. We're going to get this well, I'm going to call it a part. It kind of is a part. You're going to see what I mean here in a second. But we need this for the wonder weapon, so we might as well go ahead and get it now. So I just showed you the exact path that I took to go get this place. We're at Scorched Defense. This is right outside of Peck's office, nearby where we also got the shovel. We're going to interact with this fellow that's just laying there by the tank, and yeah, we're just going to take his eyeball. But now that we have his eye, let's go ahead and go back to the weapons lab. That's exactly where I got the blueprint from the Rai K from, just to give you an idea of where we are. We're going to pop his eye into this scanner, and then once that is finished scanning, the drawer is going to open up, and we're going to get a key from that. And now what you want to do is take that key, and we're going to go over to the barracks. I'm going to show you exactly where the barracks are without editing, so you can see exactly where you need to go. Now, there are lockers. They're on both sides. I get this very early, but in this barracks here, you can see these lockers. You just walk up to them and open the lockers. You're going to eventually hear a noise, and a mimic is going to come out. Now, you don't necessarily always get it on the first try for the mimic, and like I said, there's 2 buildings on either side there. They both have lockers in them, so sometimes you get a mimic right away, like I do here, and I get the part. Sometimes you get a mimic, you kill him, you get nothing. You got to go to the next barracks and just keep opening lockers until you get another mimic, and eventually you will get it. It won't take you more than a couple of seconds anyhow. And what that mimic dropped for you, just so you are aware, is the barrel assembly for the Rai K wonder weapon, okay? So now we're going back to the weapons lab, and now we're going to interact with the computer, and what you're seeing on screen is a dartboard just without the numbers, okay? So playing solo, what I do is just wait for that tick, tick, tick as it goes around. You can see the first number that we got there was a 13. You can pause this and go back if you need to check. The next number we're going to get is a 9, and then the final number we're going to get is a 6, just so you can see what I'm doing. But Ether Shroud comes in hugely handy here, as you can see, when you're playing solo. And just when you get a new number, go ahead and pause. So I'm just showing you the whole sequence again as it happens. So I let it go, I activate it, I let it go, get to the first number, pause, write down my number, then the zombie's probably going to show up. So I go ahead and hit my Ether Shroud, so he will leave me alone, wait to get the next number, see it, that's a 9, again, write that down, unpause, go back, get the final number, and then we're good to go there, okay? Now that you've got your dartboard numbers, we're going to go ahead and head back to spawn, and I always just buy this revolver off the wall because I've got an M16, and shooting a burst weapon at this is not going to work. So there is a dartboard right next to Wonder Fizz. And again, all you need to do is actually shoot the number. So 13, 9, 6, and then you shoot the bullseye in the middle, and if you do it correctly, it'll open up and you will drop the next part of the wonder weapon that you need. So we're going to need one more part for the wonder weapon, but we're not going to get that until later. So now let's go to the data center and do the stuff that Peck was talking about. So now we are back at the data center, and you're going to go ahead and interact with this machine right here, the memory transference station. And then you're going to take one of these traps. Now, what we need to do is kill 3 different mimics. We're going to entrap them, and then we're going to feed them back into this machine here. Now, there are 3 locations and 3 locations only where you will find these mimics. You can only get 1 per round, and just fair warning, this step can be quite glitchy. So what you need to do, what I do, is get down to 1 zombie at the end of these rounds, and then we're going to take this one at a time. By the way, insta-kills are actually bad for doing this step. So this is what I was talking about. You don't want to be too strong. You don't want to pack a punch. You also don't want to have an insta-kill active while you're doing this because you will absolutely kill the mimic. So as I was saying, there are 3 locations that you can find these mimics. One is going to be the Colonel's office. It starts at this barrier right here. So it's kind of a wide area, calling it the Colonel's office. But it's that entire hallway there. Anything you see down to your right there, and in the Colonel's office itself. Now, I did not have anything here. What you're going to find, what we're looking for, is just like drops on the ground. So it could look like salvage, it could look like a monkey, it could be anything you would get a drop for. But it turns out it's actually a mimic. The other place that you can get it is the motor pool. So this is number 2. This entire area right here that is labeled motor pool, you can find stuff on the ground here. Again, any kind of drop that would turn into a mimic. But for me, it's not here either. The third and final place it can be is in the bedroom down at spawn, and obviously since I don't have it in the first 2 places, it's going to be there. So that's the bedroom. You're going to start seeing these drops. You can see right there, there's one, there's a monkey, a C4, oh, there's the mimic. Now what you need to do is get this guy down to very low health. Just do not kill him. You're shooting for somewhere around 10% health left. So under round 10, it's basically like 4 knives will do it. But keep an eye on it because it's not exact. And the pistol that we used earlier for the dartboard actually comes in really handy because it's a very weak weapon. Again, you're not pack-a-punching it, so you'll do a little bit of damage. When you see that health bar real low above his head that you just saw there, go ahead and throw your trap down, and you need him to stop near the trap, and go ahead and activate it. And if you've got the right amount of health gone, you will capture him. If not, he will escape, and it will destroy the trap. And if that does happen, don't worry though, just head back to the data center, get a new trap. The mimic should follow you all the way up there. And then you can just do a little bit more damage until he's really weak, throw another trap down, and try to capture him again. Now, every time you capture one of these guys, you have 3 minutes. It's plenty of time to bring it back to the data center and go ahead and input it into the machine. The names that you're looking for, just to make sure you're doing this correctly, or also to make sure that it's not bugged, because that actually happens to me on the next mimic that I go ahead and get. We're looking for Brahms, Sokolov. Sokolov is the one that's talking right now, so we know we got it right. And Zabine. You don't absolutely have to remember these names, by the way, because when you enter the trap into the machine, if it's not correct, Weaver's going to come on and tell you, nope, that wasn't it. Go ahead and keep looking. Or, okay, that's one of them. Let's get on to the next one. So now that you've got your first one down, go ahead and flip the round. Again, you can only do 1 per round on this. And then we know that we have the bedroom done at spawn, so the only other 2 locations where the mimic could possibly spawn that we need is at the Colonel's office and the motor pool. So let's go check there. You remember I said that this step was kind of glitchy, kind of buggy. Well, I headed over to the motor pool and there are the 4 items on the ground. It's like, okay, this is definitely going to be it. I run over, Mimic spawns in. I go ahead and hit him with my knife 4 times. I throw my trap down. I trap him, and then I bring him back to the memory transference device, and it's not him. So I went and checked over in the Colonel's office, and there was no Mimic over there either. I just didn't get the proper one this round. It just didn't happen. They didn't spawn it in. There's nothing I can do about it. You're supposed to be able to do this once every round, and it's not supposed to just give you these random ones, but sometimes it happens. So if it happens to you, again, don't worry about it. Just go ahead and flip the round, get down to 1 zombie left, and try again. That's all you can do. So again, this one happened to be back at the motor pool, so same deal. Walk up to him, knife, 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 check, and it's like, it looks to be about 10% health. Throw my trap down, get him near it to stop, and then go ahead and trap him. And then we're going to take that again back to the data center, back to the memory transference device, pop that in, grab one more trap, and then we're going to go to the final location, the only place it can be now. We had the bedroom at spawn, we had the motor pool, so now it can only be Colonel's office. So we flipped around, we get down to 1 zombie, and we head over to the Colonel's office. Now remember, this whole hallway counts as this quote-unquote kind of Colonel's office area. You can see there's those drops on the ground. It just didn't happen to be one of those, but we got our final Mimic. Now we're past round 10, so 4 knives isn't going to quite cut it. So you see me take another couple of shots. Almost got him down too low, but it worked out in the end. And then, of course, one more time, we head back to the data center. We put it in the memory transference device, and then we're going to get this whole long quote. After this quote, from that same memory transference device, that machine, we are going to get a floppy disk. Make sure you pick up your floppy disk. Now we are heading back toward the OPC. I told you the OPC was going to come in a lot during this. So there it is. And then we're going to go up to this machine here with the brain on the screen there, and we're going to input that floppy disk. What's going to happen now is the door to the OPC is going to open up, and we need to run up those stairs. And just by doing that, you don't have to activate anything. Just by you running up there, you're going to basically initiate the next part of the Easter egg. So just make sure you run up the stairs. But it turns out that wasn't enough, because that just made the OPC unstable. So now we get this quote, and we need to go and talk to Dr. Peck again. Thankfully, you are right next door. And just go ahead and run up to the window and speak to Dr. Peck again. So it turns out we don't have enough power. He's just shutting the gate on us. He's blocking us out. But from this cabinet, we're going to be able to get something, an ether meter, that is going to allow us to find these other crystals that we're going to put into the ether reactors. So Ravenov is going to give us this quote here, and he's eventually going to give us a combination to this cabinet. Once he finishes saying the numbers to the cabinet, we can go ahead and go up to it and get this ether meter. Now, do you remember way back when we first turned on power at this location, I told you to go ahead and pick up this shovel from right here? You've got it now, so just in case you didn't pick it up, now's the time. Go ahead and get that shovel, because now is when we actually need to use it. We're going to need it for all 3 of these next steps. So these, basically it's one step, but it's in 3 different locations, okay? So the first one you're going to do is right next to the OPC in this exact spot here. Again, there it is. We're going to go ahead and dig. That's what the shovel is for. It's going to pop up this canister with an ether crystal in it. And now what you need to do is go ahead and look at these crystals inside, and you're looking for one that is completely clear, just has the crystal in it. You see all these other ones that I'm looking at here have some kind of black goo kind of floating around inside of that canister. Those ones are no good. No good, no good. So you need one that is completely clear. It just has the crystal in it. And you can see all the various locations where they can be: upstairs next to the OPC, downstairs, out in this front area where we were actually digging over here. It can be in any of these immediate area right here. But this is the one we need. You can see that is clear, nothing floating around. So once we pick that up, you see in the top right, we've got it, and then we're going to take it and go ahead and put it into this ether reactor. Now, if you pick the wrong one, don't worry, it's not the end of the world. You're just going to get a Mimic that spawns in. Just go ahead and kill the Mimic and do the step again. The next ether crystal we're going to get is going to be outside of the Colonel's office. So we're going to go ahead and jump down here, but also, while we're doing this, we're going to get a mangler that spawns in, and we need to shoot his cannon off. There's actually going to be 2 manglers that spawn in, so you actually have 2 chances, but we need to shoot his arm off, because that's going to drop us another part to the Wonder Weapon. So we're going to go down this middle lane here, and then it says, again, dig. We're going to go ahead and dig that, and this is going to start a lockdown. I'm also switching over right now to my Ring of Fire because I want that charged up because we're very close to the boss fight. So now's the time to switch over to that. So this bubble comes over us here, and we cannot leave this area, this immediate area. You're going to get a Mangler, like I said, try to shoot his arm off as I do here, and then you're going to get, that's the power cell for the Rai K, so make sure you go ahead and pick that up. So you're going to get some Hellhounds here, and then you're going to get one more Mangler, and then a few more Hellhounds. It's really not that bad. Try not to flip around as I just did there so you don't get any other zombie spawns, but trust me, it's really not that bad. So when you've completed this, just make sure you pick up the canister, and then go ahead and put the crystal into the ether reactor. I always seem to forget putting those things in, so just make sure you remember. Now we want to head immediately over to the weapons lab. Don't flip around because this is a round-based thing here. We're going to go ahead. That's where the blueprint was. To your right here is where you're going to put that power cell in, and we need to let this sit here for a round or two. And this is the final part that we need for the Rai K Wonder Weapon. So go ahead, like I said, get that in there as soon as possible, then go ahead and flip the round. It's going to take a round or two, and then you'll be good to go. But as you can see, we just hit round 13, and I have this objective that is happening. So we need to protect this area. This is one of 3 different areas that could pop up. You also get a free score streak from doing this. I got the artillery strike. Now, the artillery strike, there's a reason why I'm showing you this. One is because if you've not played this map before, you don't know what this invasion is. It's a new thing for zombies, but you'll figure it out. It's very simple. You get a couple of waves of zombies that attack this area, but that's kind of neither here nor there. It's very simple to actually deal with. But the artillery strike is what we're going to use for the boss fight, and you can get it for free by doing one of these objectives. So if that happens to you, it's either the artillery strike you're going to get or a missile strike. The artillery strike is best. The missile strike is fine. Or you can just craft one before we go into the boss fight, which we're about to get to, and I'm going to show you all that stuff in a minute. So now you flipped a couple of rounds, head back to the weapons lab, get your charged power cell, and go right up to where you had the blueprint from before, and go ahead and craft your Wonder Weapon. Free Rai K, it's a pretty goddamn good weapon. Now we need this to get the final crystal. Now with this Rai K, you're going to press up on your D-pad to change the fire mode. Go to this spot right next to the field hospital where it says dig. You're going to shoot your shot down. That keeps the canister from flying away. Sounds weird, I know, but if you don't do this, the canister will fly away. You have to shoot it with your Rai K in the alternate fire mode, like I said, up on the D-pad, and then go ahead and take that canister and drop it into the ether reactor. From here, Weaver will yell at you to get back to the OPC. You're going to go ahead and run up the stairs again, and there's going to be another problem. What we need to do is realign a satellite. Before you can actually do that, though, you need to get this quote that you're seeing on the screen right now from Weaver. And sometimes it takes like a good 30 seconds or so. Like it takes a while for him to actually go ahead and speak up to give you that quote. But before you go ahead and realign this satellite, hit this crafting table, or any crafting table really, and bringing a monkey bomb is not a bad idea into this boss fight. You can throw it out and it will distract the zombies to keep them away from you. But this is the time now to go ahead and get that artillery strike if you didn't get it from the holdout that I showed you before. Also, you're doing this right now instead of doing the satellite, because once you do that satellite, you're going to get a cutscene and you're going to go to the boss fight. So you need to do these things in this order. So head back to spawn, and we're going to buy this Gallo shotgun off the wall. I'm going to get rid of my M16. We'll hold on to the Rai K. We're not even going to use it. We're just going to, why not, right? Go out with style, have the Wonder Weapon with you as you do the boss fight. We're going to head over to the Pack-a-Punch machine, and I'm going to Pack-a-Punch twice. I have enough to triple pap, but I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys with this, and when you're having your perks upgraded, how powerful they can actually be. Go ahead and double pap it, and then we're going to get some perks from the machine. I'm going to make sure I get, as I showed you at the very beginning of this, we're going to get Elemental Pop, and we're going to get Deadshot Daiquiri. Those are the most important ones. And then for me, I'm just going to go ahead and fill out, you know, put on Stamina Up, sure, why not? Make sure I have Quick Revive. Like, these things don't matter. Speed Cola, like, I'm not even going to reload. We're going to show you that as we're in the boss fight. You're going to be shocked at just how fast you can do this boss fight. Now, if things, and I'm telling you this now before we actually get to it, because it's going to be over very quickly, I'm telling you, the boss fight that is. If it doesn't go that smoothly for you, it's okay. It just takes a little bit of practice. You don't have to do this the exact way that I'm showing you. Again, I would buy a monkey bomb, though. That will help you to keep the zombies away from you while you shoot the boss. But from here, we're going to go head back to this computer right here. We're going to interact with this, and we need to align the satellite, and it's the shiniest one. And when you hover over it, you see that question mark that popped up. That's what you're looking for. Go ahead and align that. The other ones all have like the American flag, the Russian flag, Chinese flag, all that kind of stuff. You're looking for the one with the question mark that pops up on the bottom right, as you see there. Again, it will always be the shiniest one. Once you align the satellite, there's going to be some action going on outside. I won't spoil anything for you. Go ahead and watch it. But again, you're about to go into the boss now. There's only going to be one more action that you take. So go ahead and pack a punch, get your score streaks, some perks, whatever it is that you need. And now is the time to do it. Okay? But let's say you're ready to go. So when all of that action plays out, Weaver's going to tell you, okay, man, you guys got to get to the OPC. You go ahead and run up these stairs and interact with this button, and then cutscene. I don't want to spoil any of that for you, so we're just going to show you, here's the boss, and he's popping up, and Ravna's like, whoa, buddy. Okay, so once this happens, we're going to load in now. Immediately, go ahead and pull out your score streak. Go ahead and make sure the target is directly on him. Run up exactly where I do. Pop your ring of fire right here with your shotgun and shoot him in the face, and just don't stop. See how fast his health is going down? It's kind of crazy. I mean, the boss fight is literally over as I'm talking right now. That's all there is to it. If you found this helpful, drop a like, subscribe, and I will catch you in another video very soon. Take care, guys.